Hey friends, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today as we get into another installment of our Princess Soap series for, what is it? We're already in September. I can't believe it. Where has the year gone? I also can't wait for it to be over. Like I'm sure a lot of you right now because, 2020. But in this second soap that we are going to take a look at and make together, this is a little different. This one was inspired by the scent. And I'm going to be really curious to get your take on this scent, if I captured it, what you guys think. So let's jump in right now and we'll check in a little bit. Okay, let's brave this soap. I am ready to go. I'm going to put my immersion blender in, get these oils all mixed up. And I'm ready to put my lye water in. Get that spoon in there, the sink, and let's give this a pour. I'm pouring down the shaft so that I can avoid a lot of splashing, some of the bubbles and all that. So, all right, good to go. Now, let us give this a little bit of pulsing here. That looks pretty darn good. It's still pretty liquid, which is going to allow me some time to work because we're going to need that. And let's divide this out, just like some of our other Disney-inspired princess-ish style soaps. We are going to do one color on the bottom, one color on top with an accent drop swirl. So let's divide this up. Give this a pour. And let's see. I think I will, let's see, how are we doing? Maybe a little bit more on top. All right, I think that's good. I'm gonna put my top two up here off to the side, and I'm going to pour in my fragrance oil. So I mentioned I'm gonna brave this soap. If you didn't catch that reference, we are doing a Merida inspired. And when I think about Merida, I think about Scotland, I think about greenery, and that is why I'm using this fiddle leaf fig scent that just smells so good. Like, I'm more of a fruity fan, but this smells fantastic. It really does. It's kind of got this earthy note to it, but it's fresh. I am adding in, oh, I want to do it a different way. Oh, well. Well, I'm going to put this off to the side, and now that is going to be my top because I screwed that up. I'm not going to mix it, and I'm going to put most of this in the fragrance oil into the bottom, and I'm going to do a combination of apple moss green, gingerbread brown mica powder, and Kelly green. Let's start there. And I'm hoping to get a nice deep foresty green to go with Merida's dress. And I do want, okay, yeah, I think this is gonna be pretty good. I'm kind of putting it off to the side so I can really get it. And I want to get this, let's see, how are we doing here? This is pretty good. All right, I think that is good. I'm gonna grab my spatula, kind of scrape this down, really kind of get everything incorporated. And I'm gonna bring over my brambleberry mold right here, and let's pour this in. All right. You know what, maybe this worked out intentionally that I messed things up because I seem to always do too much on the bottom and not enough up top. And that was going to be the case, but hey, this worked out. I am happy that I totally messed that up. I'm really gonna scrape this down because I don't need any more of this. This is definitely a nice earthy green. I may play around with the color a little bit more. You know, it's not totally perfect, but it's kind of what I was going for. Might be a little too mossy, but we'll see. Okay, I want to get these drips off because next up I am going to add, keep that off to the side, a mica line. And this is going to represent kind of the gold. I'm doing a gold mica line. And we'll start there. And this is just to kind of represent some of the gold in her dress. If you look at some of the details on the bottom of Merida's dress, you've got some nice gold there. So this is both going to help this set up, and it's going to give me a little bit of time to work, but it's also going to add a nice little interest here. All right, I'm just going to grab a toothpick here to add a little more gold. And let's just keep patting away. I don't need to overdo it, but I mean, it's kind of a nice touch. I was a little late to the game with Brave. I didn't watch it right away when it came out. I wanted to, but you know, time got away from me. I don't watch a lot of movies in the theater. I tend to wait until, you know, now when they're on Disney Plus or they show up on TV. It's just, I tend to not have a whole ton of time to do that stuff, so. All right, I think that's pretty good. I don't need it overwhelming. Okay, toss that back into the container and put this off to the side. Okie dokie, put the lid on this because I do not need mica everywhere. This is the gold sparkle from Brambleberry. Let's kind of put this right over here, and let's get our brown that we've already put the fragrance oil in, and the orange, which I just poured the fragrance oil in here. And for the orange, I combined Cheesy Poof from Mad Mica and Sunset Orange Mica. So I'm going to pour that in here, and I think I'm going to use my small whisk to start, just to try and keep things pretty fluid. The orange here is going to represent her hair, bright orange, but I wanted some really stark contrast between the brown and green, which is why I went very bright. Let's switch this so you can see. And that Cheesy Poof is a neon, and it's really gonna help anchor this color here, and I think it's going to really help it along. All right, that looks great. Now, let's do this brown. And the brown represents her sash and some of the components of Merida's dress. It also represents a lot of the, you know, her bow and arrow and horse, and, you know, you see a lot of woodsy colors there. So I really want to whisk this up, get these pigments totally combined. Get in there, mix this up, but I want to keep it fairly fluid, so that's why I'm not using my immersion blender right now. I want to keep things moving, keep things flowing. Okay, get a good arm workout in, you know? Oh, I gotta tell you, this is one of those unexpected scents that I am just in love with, and I would not have thought it. You know, this is a great unisex scent. If you don't like the floral, the fruity, or anything like that, this is a great scent for you. This and the amaretto were two that surprised me. You know, I didn't expect to love either one as much as I do. And I got to tell you, this is a good scent. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Push this up top. And let's get this mold over here. Oh, I need a bigger space to work. Okay, so I've got my mold. Now let's pour some of this brown in, and I think I'm going to grab my spatula because I don't want to disturb this mica line. And let's get a nice pour base layer down. Okay, good base layer down. Make a mess, because what fun is it if you don't? And I'm going to whisk this. Get it nice and fluid. Okay. Do a little bit of a pour. 1. Let's just do 2 right now. Let's get a little bit more brown. Okay. And more orange. And I'm going kind of high here so it drops. And as I got closer, I kind of brought it in so it stayed up top. And now, keep going. And I think I'm just going to empty this container here. I still have a little bit left of the orange, which I'm going to put on top so that when I swirl the top, because who doesn't love a swirl top? I do. Okay, this is perfect. And I reduced the oils by 2 ounces total from the last one that I made because, again, it was still completely overflowing. And, you know, I didn't want oils and soaps to go to waste. It wasn't enough to make a bar in something else, but, you know, it just, so this seems to be the perfect amount. I think it's going to work a lot better. Okay, let me shimmy that a little bit. And this fragrance oil seems to be working out pretty well. And we're just going to drizzle this a little bit more. I'm going to grab my spoon here and just kind of start filling this in. Putting some drops down. And I'm really hoping I get some nice contrast of color here. That this neon really stays nice and bright orange and gives some good color. It just makes it fun. I enjoy it. All right, so I have to know, what is your favorite princess? Who? Do you have one? Because I think Merida is one of the most underrated ones. She's fierce. She's strong. I wouldn't call her my favorite, but I do think she's one of the most underrated. All right, let's give this a shimmy. Yeah, this is a perfect amount of oil. And I'm going to grab the other end of the popsicle stick that I use to mix up my orange. And I'm just going to give this some swirl. Do some kind of overlapping figure 8s. As I'm doing this, I'm seeing a little bit of gold along the side. I'm wondering if I put just a tiny bit of mica on the side. I don't know. I kind of like this top as is. Maybe I'll do just a tiny bit of gold on one side. Just a little dusting. Okay. Itty bitty. Let's just tap. Yeah, just a little bit is all we need. I don't need to overpower. And this will wash off after the first 1 or 2 uses anyway, so just a little bit to give it a little bit of interest, but still keep that swirl showing, which I like. Okay. You're probably like, no, get that spot over there, get that. Just tell me, be here, tell me. Okay, done. I am going to spritz this with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. I'm gonna do some dishes and I will be back in a few seconds your time, but in about a full day my time to cut this up and see if this meets my vision. We'll find out. All right, here is the loaf unmolded. The green is definitely a little mossy, and I'm thinking next time I make this, I'm gonna make it a little bit more deeper tealy mossy, like add a little bit of blue to it. But we'll see what happens when I cut into it. The orange stayed really bright, which I kind of love as kind of a unique interpretation of Merida. So let me get my phone on a tripod to record this and let's cut into it. Okay, let us cut into this Merida inspired soap. It's definitely, ooh, definitely a little bit soft there. I got a little bit off on me when I picked that up, so maybe I will slice off just a touch of the end here. This is heavy and hard to manipulate. Okay. Now let's give this a cut and see what it looks like on the inside. Ooh, I kind of like that. The mica line turned out awesome. I really like how that looks. All right, slidey, slide. Okay, come on. There we go. And again, I'm cutting this about 2.5 centimeters or about 1 inch, like all my others. Okay, this looks really cool. I'm happy. You know, I might tweak the colors a little bit, but style-wise, looks really good. Really, really good. And yeah, the scent really maintained well. It has that kind of grassy but fresh, bright scent to it. It's just, like, this is a great scent for people who don't want a floral. It is a little bit masculine, but I like it too. So I think it's good for anyone. But it's not overly fruity or floral or any of those things. So that's why I say I think a lot of people would like it. Oh yeah, this is looking really nice. The top looks fantastic. So, ooh, I like the other side. Yes, looks great. All right, well, I am going to cut these up and I will check in with you once these have cured for a little bit. So let's see how they look in a week or two. All right, what do you guys think? Here it is. This is actually about 5 or 6 weeks later with how I'm filming this, and this smells so good. I am not a big fan of like grassy, earthy, woodsy type scents, but I really like this one for some reason. I don't know, there's something about it. It does smell green, but it's not overpowering. I think this would be the perfect scent for any gender, whether you like, you know, fruity, florals, more masculine scents. It smells really, really good. Now the colors I will change to get this mossy green to be a little bit more tealish, kind of a blend between the two because it's not totally Merida. You know, would like to do more half and half, but overall, I think this is a really nice looking soap. It smells fantastic. It lathers amazing. I'm really, really happy with it, and I think you guys will too. So I need to know, I asked who is your favorite, who is your most underrated princess when I was filming it, but I really want to know who your most underrated princess is. So leave comments below of who your most underrated princess you think is. down below, because I want to see if you guys have similar views. I'm not going to say that Merida is my most underrated. I have to give it a little bit of thought myself, but I want to know what you guys think. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you love this soap, and get out there, create something beautiful, and have a great day. Thank you guys.